Siman Tov Kuf Pei Hei Sif Hei. Hanotel schar liskor b'Rosh Hashanah, oy kedei lispalel, oy letargem b'Shabbos v'yomim tovim. Someone who takes a salary for blowing the shofar on Rosh Hashanah, or davening, or translating. Those days they used to have translators during the Kriyas Torah on Shabbos or Yom Tov. From that wage he will not see any blessing. Right? One's not allowed to take money for working on Shabbos, for doing something on Shabbos or Yom Tov. One's not allowed to take money. If one does, then one will not see any siman bracha, any sign of blessing from that money. The way out for those who are chazonim, who do get paid for it, the way out is what's called havlo'ah, which is that if you're paid a weekly salary, let's say, which includes Shabbos, that's okay. Because you're not being paid specifically for Shabbos, you're being paid for a few days, one of which is Shabbos. It's included in a larger salary. And therefore chazonim, who are chazonim on Shabbos, will always daven also a bit during the week, once or twice, and then it will be as part of a pay package, and therefore it's okay.
But they can't be paid at all for Shabbos, can they?
They can't be paid if they're just being paid for Shabbos. If it's what's called behavlo'ah, that it's part of a
weekly salary.
Yeah, then it's okay. So it's paid together with something else.
Is that true for anybody?
This is true for anything. A babysitter, you need a babysitter Shabbos afternoon, right? So you can't pay them just for Shabbos afternoon. So what you do is they babysit you for Tuesday night as well, and then you pay them together, Tuesday night and Shabbos together, for the two of them together.
But in fact, what you're doing is you're paying them double for Tuesday night, and nothing for Shabbos.
You pay them double for Tuesday night, yeah.
And nothing for Shabbos, really.
Yeah. Okay, there's more to talk about, but let's move on to our subject. Let's talk about interest on bank accounts is also a point. And interest for Shabbos. Let's not know. Let's move on. Siman Tov Kuf Pei Vav. Dinei Shofar Shel Rosh Hashanah Uvei Chav Gimel Seifim. Aleph. Shofar Shel Rosh Hashanah Mitzvose B'Shel Ayil. The Shofar Shel Rosh Hashanah should preferably be a ram's horn. V'kofuf. It should be bent rather than straight. B'di Eved Kol HaShofars Kasherim. Beim Pshutim Beim Kfufim. B'di Eved, even if the shofar is straight and it's not bent, it's also kosher. It's just ideally one should rather use a bent shofar rather than a straight one. The horn of a cow is possul, is invalid, even b'di eved. Similarly, the horns of most animals, which are one bone, they also come invalid even b'di eved. If they're one bone, they haven't got a zachos b'fnim. A shofar is hollow. Right? That's why it's called shofar. The word shofar means a tube. It's a hollow bone, and it has inside it another bone that inserts in, which is called the zachos, the male part that slops in. Right? So that's a kosher shofar. The ones that are one piece, not made of those two bones connected, are possul, they're invalid. Midaraisa, biblically. So even b'di eved is not good if I'm blue from such a shofar. The chain shofar mebehema tamei possul. Similarly, the shofar of a non-kosher animal is also possul. Okay. Let's just see a couple of mishaburs and then we'll move on. We're not going to see them all. Let's see the first few. We'll start from the second one. So cotton base, b'shel ayil. 7 lines from the bottom of the right column. B'shel ayil. L'zeicha akedas Yitzchak. The reason why you use a ram's horn is to remember the Akedah of Yitzchak. B'chalal zeh gam kivson nekeva. One can also use a sheep. Ela de mahadin b'yoyser nohagin lachza acha shel ayil dafke dehuzocha tzvei le'ayil shel Yitzchak. So using a sheep, which is the same species as a ram, is also a remembrance of the Akedah, but an even better remembrance is to actually use a ram. Because that was the ram itself was the one that was offered on the Mizbeach. So if Kodem Gimel v'Kofuf, there's Siman Sheich B'Hu Libam Lamokim. The reason why, preferably, ideally, we prefer that bent shofar is used, is because it has this symbolization that it's that we should bend our hearts over to Hashem. Sif Kotten Dalet, b'di'evet kol hashofar v'chol, rotz lo'imar, afilu shel shar b'hem v'sachais, b'mekomo b'yesh lo shofar shel tayish v'eiz, to use the shofar from a goat is preferable. It's preferable to using the shofar of a yoel, which is an ibex, I believe, which are chayos, to kovelim say yosa because it's closer to a sheep. Because the sekes of them say isn't the ikazeicha k'tzas lakeda sitzcha, and it's closer to lakeda sitzcha. So using the horn of a goat, which is a very similar animal to a sheep, is preferable than using a shofar of an ibex, which is a wild animal. It's a very different animal, even though it's also kosher.
Does the wild animal have to be shechted properly in order to use the horn?
No, it doesn't have to be shechted. Let's continue. We're just jumping. I'm jumping now to Zayin. I'm sorry for the jumping. We're going to jump to Sifkot and Zayin, which is the middle of the left column. Like deers. The reason why they are possible is because the shofar has to be hollow. The shofar it means the tube has to be hollow. These psulim of a cow, and if it is one bone, they are biblical invalidations. Even if he has no other shofar, he may not blow from them. Okay. And then, just at the end of Ches, if you look at the top line of the next page, according to everyone, one can blow from the shofar of a nevelot shofar, meaning a kosher animal that was not shechted correctly or it was trefa. So if we just summarize, I'm not going to spend too long, and just if we summarize the different types of animal, what's kosher and what's lachat chila and what's posel, okay? And we have a number of psulim that are biblical biblical invalidations, which are if it's a porah, if a cow's horn is invalid because it's not called a shofar at all. Similarly, most animals which are not made of these two bones, they don't have a hollow bone with another bone that slots in, they are invalid biblically. They may not use, even if you have no other shofar, they may not be used. Okay, so now of the kosher shofaros, the ideal is to use a ram's horn because the akedah was a ram. If we can't use a ram's horn, then we use something which is closer. The closest one is from a sheep, and then after that, a goat is a similar animal to that. If not, then we can use anything which is a kosher shofar, for example, from a yoel, which is an ibex. The animal doesn't have to be shechted. It's not important. It's shechted properly. It could be a nevel or trefa. That's also kosher.